Concord Tower, 39 Mike's ready for departure at 2.
2539 Mike, Concord, on course runway 2, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 2 on course approved for 39 Mike. Alright, sorry. Alright, everything look clear?
Right.
You're right, yep. Alright, runway's clear. Airspeed's alive. Gauges still look green. And center line, full power. Lean the
power today.
Yep. Alright, 55, 60, 70, rotate. Yes, you're gonna fly good today.
Oh yeah.
Alright, positive rate, gears coming up.
Up.
Alright, gears up, confirmed up. We're basically just going straight ahead, so
okay.
I'll fill the heat up and we'll see what happens.
Are we going north?
Yep, due north. Almost straight runway heading.
Really?
Alright, gauges all look green. Fuel flow's good. We'll fly over Stephen's house and then I'll adjust a little. Big bird.
See right ahead.
I don't know if you can see that church with the red roof. And then there's a house to the right. Yep, that's his house.
Tower 970 is reporting on station.
I'm pretty sure you'll see the horse. There's a pond to the left and his horse pasture. If that's not it, it's right.
Uniform, roger.
Right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's his. Yeah, the pond is just off to the left. You won't really be able to see it as we go over. You might see it under the wing, but I'll send my video clip.
Okay.
All right, now we'll turn to the west just a little bit. I don't know if we're going near anybody else's house. Yeah, Kevin's off to the west.
Concord Tower, Chopper 9.
Chopper 9, Concord.
Right there.
What's
About
that?
9
Nice
miles
house
to
right
the
now.
southwest, inbound for the Helivision hangar,
a
Chopper
nice
9,
area.
1,500.
Chopper 9, you can proceed inbound, landing at the ramp pitch.
Chopper 9, what are they doing?
Sitting inbound and at the ramp and on risk. Chopper 9, thank you.
Houses.
Hey. I see Canapolis over there, kind of that big green area in the middle. Yeah, they that used to be where Cannon Mills was. Now it's
And Tower 970 is done here, looking to go 4 miles north of my position.
all right. Level up here
907
for a
uniform
minute.
report on site.
Can't
Full
remember
report on site, 970.
what elevation did I pick? 5,500 or 60? 55. All right, we can go up to 55. We're out of Charlotte. We're almost out.
Concord Tower, clear track 230, 10 miles to the northwest. We have information Alpha, requesting full stop.
Clear track 230, Concord, left downwind for runway 2.
Left downwind runway 2, clear track 230.
Now there's some heat.
Yeah.
This restaurant just opened last week or the week before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Brand new. Next time we'll go to Hickory.
Okay.
Try out the new cafe. Figured if we're going somewhere today, we might as well try out the new place.
Right.
I hope it's not a circus. I'm not in a hurry, so. All right, we're down to 24.5 inches of manifold pressure, so I'll pull the RPM back. Basically, the power decreases as we get higher.
Right.
And once you're under 24, once you're down to 2450, that's safe to pull the RPM back. It's kind of like being in overdrive.
Okay.
You don't want to be, we talked about this before, you don't want to be lugging the engine.
Concord Tower, check 339, 10 to the southeast with Alpha, not 4 south.
Because you're trying to take advantage of it.
Check 339,
but once the
Concord
power
Speedway, right
drops
by
down,
runway
you
2.
can kind of go into high
Speedway,
gear.
right by 8, runway 2.
First our
check
tachometer doesn't
339.
work right, but I got a digital one here.
Okay, that's your RPM.
Yeah, 2430. So basically now we'll stay at the lower RPM until we land at the last second. That way if we have to go around, it's like throwing it in the first gear to take off. Some pilots will pull this back as they're climbing, but it comes back on its own as you climb. So the guy I did my training with, he's like, just full power until it naturally comes down.
Right, okay.
So that's my process. That way you're not constantly messing with stuff. All right, coming up on our altitude. All right, autopilot. What happens?
Today.
Departure is 128.32, squawk 41 at 76.
Well, I forgot the frequency.
Tower 97 uniform is down here looking for a full stop with Alpha.
97 uniform, right down one for runway 2.
Right down 129.
123.
789 Romeo, Surry, back correct. Let me know when you're ready, taxi out.
I'll go ahead and put it there. If it's too chatty, we'll switch to something else. All right, so I'm going to check the trim. So you watched that Tennessee Fly Girl video, right? So I set the trim just sort of by what I normally do when you go into cruise. These lights tell me
to the Delta,
the plane's out of trim, and they're not flashing. So if that's flashing, if that was blinking, that would tell me the servos are fighting. Okay, so it should be close, but I'm going to press the release. Okay, we're good. Normally what happens, if you're out of trim,
Charlie base final, 2-1 gas.
you're out of trim and you've got the autopilot on, you press that button, it's going to jump. You feel that? And we suspect that's what she did. She had the plane so out of trim that when the autopilot gave up, the plane just went, boom.
Oh, okay.
Because that little bit right there was nothing.
Right.
But if you're not expecting it, it'll scare the you know what out of you. So now I got to get it back in trim.
2 miles.
Okay, so your trim tag is right there.
There's a big wheel.
Yeah, okay.
Can you see it right there?
Yeah, I can see it. It's tan.
Yeah, it's got, so you can, it becomes,
Monterey traffic 7125, Quebec is left base for runway 18.
I'm sure it's fine, it's 1,000 feet under. It gets to be, for me, and I mean any pilot, there he is. Well, he's right under us. See that white plane?
Yep.
You know, trim to me becomes constant. You're constantly trimming the plane. Right. But when I learned this plane, I struggle with it.
Okay. It's just getting the feel of it.
Well, this plane is really sensitive.
Yeah, the traffic
Like,
for
it takes
left
just
out with runway 6.
little constant corrections. And so what happens when you're climbing, you nose over to get level,
Definite traffic.
and I'll sort of guess,
Clear, 2-1, taxi.
and I'll get it close,
Right.
and then I'll set the autopilot, if I'm using autopilot. And then after the plane,
Mount Airy traffic,
I'm adjusting the fuel mixture.
final 18, touch and go, Mount Airy.
Yellow means too lean. I like to have like half and half, blue and yellow. Anyway, so that's something else you're constantly doing. But the trim in this plane, you're constantly adjusting. When you're climbing, you're adjusting it. When you're descending, you're adjusting it. When you're landing, you're adjusting it. And I don't think she ever learned to fly trim her airplane.
Right.
Scan the traffic fluid to your left.
She thought
Yeah, she thought her motion was opposite.
Left downwind.
well, and that also, yeah. But that,
we'll extend and let that other.
as you're learning a new plane, that's not a big deal. Because like Rick's trim and his Cherokee, it's up here on the ceiling.
Oh, really?
And I wouldn't know which way's up and which way's down. At least here, in my mind,
You go forward.
In my mind, when you raise the front of it,
Archer 41 to the Delta, 5 miles to the southeast.
when I'm raising the back of the wheel, the front of the wheel's going down. So in my mind, that seems natural. In our Cherokee, it was back here, and I would push it down.
Binary traffic, 712
Which
left, on the
is the
departure
opposite
leg
hand
for 180 left close traffic.
But
Binary.
you're rotating the wheel forward. You're rolling it forward to go down. You're rolling it backward to go up. I think that's the way commercial airlines are. You'll see, there's those big wheels that are constantly, it's the same thing. But still, every airplane's different, and you gotta figure it out. We just don't think the industry doesn't.
Traffic 6 Tango Victor is departing 18 left close.
But I don't know, they never said for sure on her, some airplanes will automatically trim. So when some planes, hers had a different autopilot, but it's similar. Some of them, you can press the button and it'll electronically trim the plane. It won't automatically trim the plane, but you can trim it by using the buttons instead of the wheel.
Right.
And they don't know if hers had that, but regardless, the instructor said, instead of just like push, release, push, she would just like,
Constant.
who knows? I'm not trying to throw her under the bus. It's just nice to see. So I'm going to check the trim again. And so I take the wheel off. So it's going down a little bit, but it's pretty close now. And you've flown this plane before, where you're like, you think you're holding altitude, and before you know it,
It sinks.
yeah.
Yep. Now, when you turn the red knob, is that how you're thinning?
That's the mixture.
Okay. And it just
downwind
takes
for
little
runway
turns?
18.
Yeah.
Oh, is this carbureted?
No, it's mechanically fuel injected.
Oh, okay.
If you run it too rich, the lead will build up on the spark plugs.
Right.
And you're wasting fuel. And we're getting ready to go in for annual, so I think having the, I'm going to push this back in a little bit. Okay. It may or may not help. Running it a little lean helps keep the spark plugs clean.
Cessna 736 Tango Victor. We're going to be
And the
extending
valves.
for the traffic on downwind.
2 miles southeast, overflying midfield, turning downfield,
All right,
downwind
14
on the
minutes.
highway.
Runway 18. Touch and go, man, Airy.
I haven't been paying attention where we are. We're not really anywhere. We're out in the middle of nowhere. That's Winston-Salem is, that far away? Yeah, that's Winston-Salem way off in the distance. I thought we'd be closer to it.
Right.
That got cold all of a sudden. I mean, it's like it really is almost all or nothing. There's a halfway setting, but it doesn't really seem to.
Right. That's 85 down there,
That's
right?
40.
Oh, that's 40?
Yeah. 85's over further. Statesville's right over behind us. Over
Okay.
here. Yeah, so we're Moxville, if you ever heard of Moxville.
Yeah.
It's over here.
Traffic 6 Tango Victor is about 2 miles south of the field, left crosswind, entering left downwind for runway 18.
But I learned when I was learning to fly,
7125 Quebec, left base for runway 18.
I struggled with landing. Every time I wanted to flare, I would pull too much. And then you go up, and then you'd either bounce or you'd be,
Traffic Archer 41 to Delta.
and they really don't, like once you pull back,
Turning downwind.
they don't want you pushing forward because it's so easy as a beginner to do that wrong, and then you have a prop strike. So, like, you gotta, and I learned that trim was you had to get the trim, like as you're slowing down and you're putting the flaps down and you're slowing down, you want to constantly get the trim so that when you're landing, you want the plane to be perfect. That way you just barely pull back and you level off and land. If it takes any effort at all,
It's not good.
you overshoot. That was my experience. So Anybody new that asks me, that's what I tell them. Trim is the most important thing to landing an airplane. You get the trim right.
Monterey traffic,
The plane will
712
just about
Quebec
land itself.
is final for runway 18, Monterey traffic.
And my instructors were young. They were good, but I don't think they hadn't been doing it long enough yet to realize how critical that was.
Right.
Because you watch these big jets, they look like they flare and they just
Slot down.
These little planes don't do that. You just level off. And as the speed bleeds off, the plane just lands itself.
Departure traffic, Archer
You're coming in and just about ready to touch
Surry
down. Do you pull the throttle back or
I cut usually about the time that I'm crossing from the grass to asphalt, I pull the power.
Okay.
And then, well, once you know you're going to make it.
Right.
Once you know you've got enough energy,
Right.
pull the power. Because if you land with too much speed, the plane wants to fly.
Short approach,
Right.
runway 18, Monterey.
And if you land, from the time you pull the power to the time you actually touch down, you want to be close to the soft speed.
18.
Departure traffic, Archer 412
I was never good at full stall landings. Some pilots will stall the plane right, and you'll hear the buzzer or the what,
Right.
I was never good at that, but you definitely want to get the speed where it almost, the plane won't bounce or won't float.
Right.
So this is Hanging Rock and Pilot Mountain. I don't know what the middle one's called,
Okay.
but see the one over there? There's like 3 little mountains.
Right.
The third one is Hanging Rock Park. The middle one is I don't know, and then this one is pretty sure this is
traffic,
Pilot.
7125 Quebec
Pilot
is
Mountain.
departure for runway 18, Monterey traffic.
And the airport is just a little past it. All right, so let me start. You might as well go ahead and start descending. All right, altitude hold is off. I'll pull the power back so we don't come barreling in. Let me check the weather up here. Wind's supposed to be from the north, but I don't know.
Monterey traffic, 6 Victor is on the go. Left close traffic, 18 Monterey.
Yeah. Oh, that's not right. 121.12.
8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Mount Airy, Surry County Airport, automated weather observation. 1508 Zulu, wind 140 at 4 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 1 Celsius. Dew point -1 2 Celsius. Altimeter tree 0 tree 8. Remark.
Be advised, all FBO services are in the new terminal building at the north end of the airport. Full-service jet and full-service avgas are available at the new terminal, and self-service avgas is available at the south ramp. Also, the FBO restaurant, the Updraft Kitchen, is now open Tuesday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
We didn't say where it is. I assume it's at the new terminal. All right. I'm glad he made that announcement. I didn't realize that the new terminal's at the north end. All right, so the wind is 140, so from the south. But I'm gonna turn the autopilot off and get over to the correct side of the runway.
Monterey traffic, 76 Victor is about 3 miles south of the field. Left crosswind, turning left downwind for runway 18 Monterey.
Sorry, what was that?
Is Airy bigger than Concord?
Monterey traffic,
No, it's
7125 Quebec,
airport.
left base for runway 18, Monterey traffic.
Sounds like there's some people flying. I hear them talking.
Right.
Since we're coming from the wrong direction to land, we we either need to go up one side and cross the field, or swing out this way and, you know, enter.
Coming in from the east, or we're going to come in from the west?
Yeah, I'd rather go the east and merge with traffic that way. No reason to fly over the field.
Right.
I don't see the run. I might see it, but we're not quite. We'll be in a straight line with it here soon, but not yet. I see something over there that's kind of running this way that I think is it, but I'm not sure. We're still 16 miles away. We might get some waves off of a mountain over there. So the runway runs 180, the wind is from 140, so the wind will be kind of coming from our left once we turn around, just a little bit. That was also something I struggled with. I mean, we still mess up, but when you're trying to learn how to fly a plane and figure out what the hell's going on with the wind and that's a lot. It's a lot to.
Traffic Tower 28902 Echo, 2,500 west, setting up crosswind runway 4, Charlie.
What airport did she say? Sound like she said Charlie. I'm gonna make a call. Mount Airy traffic, Bonanza 852 on Mike is 10 to the south, gonna be entering the left downwind for 18 Mount Airy. Surry County, I don't know what it's called. Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe she said Surry.
Bonanza, call Mount Airy. Winds 140 at 6 knots. Altimeter's 3037. Got a couple of aircraft in the pattern.
He's talking to us.
I think so.
And Bonanza, call Mount Airy. You gonna need fuel when you get here?
I don't believe so. We're heading to the restaurant. Thank you.
Alrighty. You know we're on the north end now.
Yes, sir. They're really not supposed to chatter like that.
Mount Airy traffic, this is 76 Victor, base to final 18, full stop, taxi back, Mount Airy.
Mount Airy traffic 7125 Quebec. We're on the departure leg for runway 18, Mount Airy traffic.
All right, so he's on the departure leg, so he's going to be coming right at us here in a minute if he flies straight out.
Said there were two in the pattern.
Yeah. That looks like he's turning. It's not 100% trustworthy, but you know, it is nice to have it. That's pretty. I've never been up to Mount Airy.
Wow. That's Mount Airy right here.
Yeah. All right, mixture's getting lean because we're getting low. Add some fuel.
Airy traffic 5185 Yankee, left base runway 18, touch and go Mount Airy.
Mount Airy traffic 7125 Quebec, left downwind for runway 18, Mount Airy traffic.
All right, so still got 1,000 feet to go.
Mount Airy traffic 5185 Yankee, final runway 18, Mount Airy.
And Mount Airy traffic, Bonanza 852 on Mike, about 6 miles to the southeast. Going to be entering the left downwind for 18, Surry.
Mount
Airy traffic, student solo Grumman 5449 Lima is 10 miles out to the southwest inbound for overflight of midfield and to the left downwind for runway 18 to Mount Airy.
He's going to cross midfield, but he's further out to the west. I don't see the second aircraft in the air right now. All right, we're about at pattern altitude, just about. All right, might be bumpy today, I don't know. A little bit of chop. All right, he's turning base. I don't see the other one, so. Airy traffic, 39 mics, about to enter the left downwind for 18, Surry County. All right, let's slow this puppy down.
Mount Airy traffic, 7125 Quebec is final, runway 18, touch and go Mount Airy.
I had him a second ago, you see him landing? North or south? He's on the north side.
185 Yankee departing the area to the south, Mount Airy.
Oh, I didn't see him. Oh, he's just taking off. He's not making calls. Is that plane leaving? Yeah. All right, I see one landing. I see one here. All right, Surry County, 39 mic is left downwind. I have the departing and parking and landing traffic in sight. Surry. It's kind of hilly over here, isn't it? Yeah, it is. All right, watch your arms and legs in case I can do anything crazy. We're clear. All right, our speed's good for the gear. About to touch down. There's one holding short. I hope she gets on moving. All right.
Mount Airy traffic, Grumman 5449 Lima is 5 miles out to the southwest, inbound to overfly midfield to enter the left downwind for runway 18, Mount Airy.
All right, gears down. All right, Surry County, 39 mics turning left, base for 18, Surry. I don't know what she's going to do.
Mount Airy traffic, 172 Tango Quebec. I'm 10 miles to the south. I'm going to enter left downwind at a 45 for runway 18, that pattern.
All right.
Mount Airy.
All right, flaps coming down. This is where you got to add a lot of trim.
Still stationary.
All right, Mount Airy traffic, 39 mics turn final for 18, Surry County.
Mount Airy traffic, 7125 Quebec. Left departure for runway 18, Mount Airy traffic.
All right, well, I gave her plenty of warning, so hammer her. All right, full rich, full prop. Man, that person's going to like right, that's an interesting place to have a house. Right under all these airplanes. All right, we're a little high. Mount Airy traffic, turn on mic, short final 18, Surry.
Mount Airy traffic, Grumman 5449 Lima is 3 miles out to overfly midfield to enter the left downwind for runway 18, Mount Airy.
A little trim up. There we go. $88 knots. Knots. All right, power's out. On a level off, let the runway come to us. And we did it. Flaps coming up.
Restaurant and everything?
I think so, yep. Some air brakes. First time I've been here.
Pretty clean.
I've done instrument approaches here, but I've never actually landed.
Okay.
Mount Airy traffic, 39 Mike is clear, 18, Mount Airy. All right, how are we doing on fuel? We got 43 gallons confirmed. Yeah, we're good. I got it here somewhere, 40.
Oh, okay.
Mount Airy traffic 7125 Quebec,
36.
departing the area to the southeast. Mount Airy traffic.
36, and what I confirm it on the mechanical. We're fine. Fuel prices are getting ready to explode, of course. So.
Oh, yeah.
Mount Airy traffic on 5449 Lima is overflying the midfield. I'm going to enter left downwind for runway 18, Mount Airy.
Gonna come out and park us. Surry traffic, Bonanza 853 Mike's departing 18, gonna be going straight out to the south, Surry. I guess he ain't gonna
12305, altimeter 3037.
I could not hear what that said. All right, we're clear. We're clear my way. I'm gonna still see him kind of straight out.
Yeah, be straight and still climbing.
Mount Airy traffic, check 22540, turning left crosswind for runway 18, Mount Airy traffic.
That's him. Didn't make any intention calls. All right, airspeed's alive. Center line. Full power. Playing the mixture a little. All right, 50, 60, 70, rotate. Likes this cool air. Yep. Yeah, positive rate. There it goes. All right, I've got him in sight. All right, gears up. Gear up.
Mount Airy traffic, check 22540 is on downwind for runway 18, Mount Airy traffic.
Mount Airy traffic, 39 Mike's on the go. Going to be straight out to the south. Mount Airy. All right, gauge is green, fuel flows blue. Let us fly right over the top and then head home.
Okay.
All right, did you guys hear?
The Blue Ridge, where you've been a couple times, is over there.
Airy traffic, Bonanza 1837 Zulu, taxi to 18 for departure, Mount Airy.
Not far.
That's 27 94609, joining left downwind, runway 21,
I had a friend I went to college with who lives up here. I need to reach out to him sometime, maybe meet him for lunch.
Oh, okay.
I never had any reason to come to Mount Airy before.
Turning left next to runway 18, Mount Airy traffic.
Is that I-77 to the left?
That is, I don't know. Highway 52.
Gas Center traffic, 22467, 10 miles to the west, at 3000 inbounds for landing 21, California.
Yep. That is 52 from Winston-Salem. I think.
Gas Center traffic, 831, Kilo X-ray, 3 miles west of the field, preparing to cross over midfield for runway 21, Gas Center traffic.
Everything looks good.
Gas Center traffic, 22467, we have that traffic in sight.
Mount Airy traffic, Cherokee 32540, turning final for runway
There are not any towers, I don't believe. There's radio towers on that one, but I don't see anything sticking up, and it's not showing it on the sectional. So we're over 1,000 feet above the peak, so
We're still climbing, aren't we?
yeah. I don't want to get too close, but
Right.
I buzzed right over the top of Grandfather Mountain a couple times. That could be a real knuckle buster from winds. It says 2,400, we're at 4,000, so we're way above it, but that's a cool peak, though.
And Alpha Tango, y'all should be able to
I'll go to the left a little so you can see
turn
it.
downwind. We should be able to come in behind y'all.
Tango, turning left crosswind, runway 8.
Can you see it now? Yep. I can't. Let me know when we hit it.
We're about 2 o'clock.
All right. I'm going to keep looking ahead in case, right.
Gas City traffic, 22467, 7 miles to the west, 3,000 and North Atlantic 21, gas on you.
Tango, left downwind, runway 21, gas on you.
Is that park opened all year?
What's that?
Is the park opened all year?
Oh, yeah, so we're still not there.
Let's go. Do you have any place?
Yeah, we have y'all inside.
people down there
We'll do a
enjoying
left
the
360 right here for spacing.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, should be going right by it. All right, we passed it. Yep. All right, now we'll figure out where Concord is. Direct to Concord.
Gas traffic 22467, 6 to the west, coming on and enter the left downwind for 21, gas on you.
Gas on you, traffic, 94609, turn left crosswind for runway 21, gas on you.
If there's any sightseeing to be done, it's might as well do it. Right. Day, pretty day.
Gas on you, traffic, 94609, turn left downwind for runway 21, gas on you.
Monterey traffic, Cherokee 22540, turning left crosswind for runway 18, Monterey traffic.
Monterey traffic,
All right, pull the RPM back.
Victor, departing 18, let's go to traffic, Monterey. Monterey traffic, Cherokee 5199 Sierra is 10 miles south. We're going to be maneuvering to do the RNAV 18 Monterey.
The governor on these planes is kind of like points distributor uses inertia, and like it's amazing people figure that out.
Traffic
100 years ago.
Turning final for runway 21, gas on you.
Likely traffic, Volunteer 3422 Contour, let's set is on a 10-mile final for runway 1. Likely.
Everything's just
Gas on you,
electronics
traffic,
now.
22467, 3.5 miles to the west, inbound to cross midfield and land 2, and enter the left downwind 21, gas on you.
So you said
Monterey
your
traffic,
annual's
Bonanza
coming up?
1837
Yeah.
Zulu, departing 18, Monterey.
Probably go up the last day of March, and then get him to sign off for April.
Should work out perfect. By the time we land, you should be in your downwind or base.
All right, autopilot.
Gas on your traffic, 831 Kilo X-ray, crossing midfield to enter left downwind for runway 21. Gas on your traffic.
Like I said, I'll recheck the trim in a few minutes, but we're pretty good.
Gas on your traffic, 94609, turning left.
What river is that below us?
Which river where?
Below us.
I don't know.
There's
an elk in
runway 21.
Monterey traffic, Victor, left crosswind, 18 Monterey.
Well, it eventually
We've
runs
got the
into...
traffic,
That's PD. Yankton PD.
831 Kilo X-ray,
We're way up the
left
Yankton
downwind for
PD.
21. Gas on your traffic.
So it eventually runs into...
Gas on your traffic, 22467, 1 mile to the west, inbound across midfield and enter the left.
Monterey traffic, Cherokee 22540, turning left.
Artillery.
Stats for that traffic, crossing over midfield.
Mighty PD.
Monterey traffic, Victor, left downwind, 18 Monterey.
Man, I wonder where it's bumpy right here all of a sudden. Oh. Hey, let me check the trim. It's up a little. All right.
So we came in at 55 and you're at 65 now?
Yeah. You're going east, you're supposed to be in odd number. Okay.
Gas on your traffic, 831 Kilo X-ray, turning left base.
And west, you're even.
Monterey traffic, gas on your traffic, 22467, crossing midfield,
And
entering
if
left down for 21, gas on
that's
you.
if you're VFR. If you're IFR, it's the same, but it's even thousands instead of 500s.
Okay.
Sorry, North traffic helicopter 86 Tango Juliet 650
Crossland, runway, show gas on you.
Sunday traffic 467, left downwind for 21, gas on you.
We don't need to listen to them right now. Yeah, good lunch. Nothing special, but good.
You say there's another new one, you said?
Well, Hickory's reopened.
Oh, okay.
For the third time since I've been flying. I haven't heard anything about Greenville, South Carolina lately. That one closed. And I heard they were trying to get another person in there, but I haven't heard any details.
Okay.
As I say, we go to Shelby, it'd be quicker for you to just drive over and meet me there. Anything interesting down there?
No, is that 40?
421.
Oh, 421.
Yeah, so we're between I-77 and Louisville. So we are east of 77. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so 77's over that way.
Correct.
Oh. You have your doctor's appointment Monday?
Yeah, I had it. He's happy with the knees.
Good.
Really happy.
Good.
Said they're bonding good or whatever.
Okay. He's happy with your range of motion and everything.
Right.
For your age and
Yep.
the condition for the condition you're in, as you say.
Very so.
Good. Did you ask him about your hips or?
Yep. They took pictures of my hips.
Okay.
Yeah. The left one is not good.
Okay. Well, I hate to hear it, but I hate to see you get surgery again anytime soon. So
No, I'm going to get.
you figure out.
I'm going to get rid of this thing first.
Yeah.
Then we'll worry about the hip.
Rick, I mean, we saw Rick when we were leaving. He just had his second hip done last month. So I haven't talked to him lately, but
Really?
I wasn't going to jump back out of the plane.
Yeah. Right.
I got my hood finished.
Oh, did you?
It's on. It's got the lip at the back. It's within about my GM quantity. it's about as good as it's going to get.
Right.
I might go back later and maybe caulk the bottom of it so it's more airtight, but it's pretty good.
Good. So when is VIR? The first week?
April 6th and 7th, so it's, I guess, the first full week of April.
Right. So it'll be a Monday and Tuesday?
Yeah. I think the first is on a Wednesday, so it would be that next week. This is I-40 running diagonal.
Oh, okay.
I believe, coming up. Yeah, it really goes from Winston-Salem, Statesville, it really goes at an angle.
Right.
Never really noticed that before. Of course, I've never driven this part of 40. You either go to Statesville, go west, or you go to Winston-Salem and go east, so. You can see Lake Norman over there off to the right already.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking at the bands we were talking about the other day, that Eagles tribute band. Yeah, they're not playing up at the place. I usually see them many times soon, but sometime this spring they're playing at South Park Mall. Like they have like the Thursday night, like almost the weekend thing.
Right.
I'll let you know. Maybe we'll meet there or something. Okay. It's funny, they usually play at the place over at Lake Norman a couple times a year, but they're not on the schedule. They're not on the schedule that I can find.
Okay.
Temperature's good, oil pressure's good, fuel flow's good.
We're still on auto.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to fly, there's not really anything to anything to do out here.
No, I'm doing my sightseeing today.
If you ever want the controls, just say the word. But
All right.
I don't need, flying in a straight line doesn't. So there's Salisbury is airport's over there. The other side, not really much on your side.
Right. Oh, just a bunch
Salisbury's
of
out there, about
Are
a
they?
45 degree angle. It's running this way.
our airspeed.
We're doing 154 knots, true.
Okay. True.
Ground speed's about the same. There's not really much wind. 15% more than that, so we're doing about 180 miles an hour. But who's counting? Start descending here in a moment. I get the weather yet.
62 point -11, altimeter 3039er, visual approach runway 2, advise Charlie. Concord information Charlie 1650 Zulu. Wind 1104, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 62 point -11, altimeter 3039er, visual approach runway 2, advise Charlie. Concord
He
information
couldn't talk
Charlie.
much faster, could he?
Yeah, no, but that was Concord, right?
Yeah.
Was that live or was that recorded?
It's a recording. I do it every hour.
Okay. Sounds like that guy lives in that tower.
Yep. They get a lot of practice. It was Zulu when we left, which is Z. So now they've gone Alpha Bravo.
Okay.
They're still 24 miles away. About 12 miles out, I'll give them a call.
Okay. Some open country around this area right here on the line.
Not a whole heck of a lot out here. Nope. That could be there's a big Freightliner plant or something kind of out between Salisbury and Staple.
Right,
that could be, I think it's either Freightliner or Thomas buses or,
oh, okay.
kind of has that look to it. I don't really see anything else around. A lot of good jobs. I just know that one of those places. All right. I need to start descending. They're going to be going into Charlotte here in a moment. First ring we got to be under 6,000. And that second ring we got to be under 36. 30, yeah.
Second ring.
First ring, we're going this way, so the first ring is 6,000 feet. So the jets are coming in above us, so we got to get, and then as we get closer to Charlotte, they're getting lower, and we got to get even lower. So add a little fuel. Oh, I see the airport already. I'm going to get off this way a little bit. We're pointed right at the runway.
That's us already?
Yeah, see the lake?
Yeah.
That's the lake by Stevens' house.
Right.
And the airport's just above it to the left.
Right.
Your squelch was off. It doesn't seem like we should be able to see it that's good yet.
No. Visibility is about 10, 15 miles?
Oh, at least, yeah. Well, the airport's 17, and we can see that easy.
Right.
That steam station way off to the right, that's probably down near you.
Yeah, that's Catawba.
However far that is. That's the north end of the lake, yeah.
That's at the bottom of Lake Wiley.
Yeah. The big one.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to give them a call. Charlie, right? Yeah. Better get on the right frequency.
Tower for Bello 11970 wants to stay with you or ground?
You can stay with me.
Concord Tower, Bonanza 853 on Mike is 14 to the north-northeast with Charlie and full stop.
Ray 539 or Mike Concord, right downwind for runway 2.
Right down 1-2, sir, Mike.
And Tower 6 Hotel Romeo, it sounds like you went to Charlie. Just wondered if you could give me another wind check then.
Currently they're calm.
Thank you. 6 Hotel Romeo.
Charlie. Calm? Is that what you said?
Concord Tower 0251 Alpha entering left base runway 2.
Sounded like calm, right?
Left downwind.
Yeah, now you can see downtown Charlotte just sort of sneaking through.
Yep.
Two 251 Alpha, you're going to follow the Cessna on a mile final, number 2, runway 2, clear to land.
Following Cessna, number 2, runway 2, clear to land, 251 Alpha.
Going through that turbulent layer again. Yep. Hopefully it'll smooth out down low here like it did up there. I flew to I sent you the video where I was cursing as I was landing.
Yep. Yeah, right.
That was intense.
Right. We're about 3,500.
Now we're 31.
31.
$2,700, almost down to pattern altitude.
Number 6 Hotel Romeo, Echo off ramp.
Echo off the ramp, 6 Hotel Romeo.
Sierra, come back, you're following us. Sierra, Center Mile, final number 2, runway 2, clear to land.
Looking for the Cirrus number 2, runway 2, clear to land, 10 goodbye.
And he's almost over the numbers now.
I got the traffic in sight, 10 goodbye.
Right over there.
Concord Tower, Grumman 5965, Lima, 12.5 southeast, inbound Charlie, full stop.
Grumman 5965, Lima, Concord, right down with runway 2.
I guess they have pulleys where they...
Break downwind 2, Grumman 5965, Lima.
When I was learning to fly, we probably talked about that. This lake, that tower, downtown Charlotte, those are all landmarks that help you kind of stay oriented. But,
okay.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was curious. It's some kind of, I don't know if it's like steel cable or if it's electrical cable, but it's some kind of cable.
Okay.
Sierra's 1 Alpha Alpha, left at Echo off the ramp.
Left at Echo Alpha to the ramp, 251 Alpha Alpha.
Elka.
6894 Victor holding short, ready to go VFR northeast.
Mooney 6894 Victor Concord, I'm
Stevens is right
runway
over there
heading down, runway 2.
Right under our wing now.
Takeoff runway 2,
right,
runway heading 904 Victor.
Concord Tower's in, I'm like center to the right downwind for 2.
Warrior 6909 Tango Concord, runway 2, taxi Alpha. 39er Mike, Roger, continuing the downwind.
Continuing downwind, you got my... Body just took off. About over the grass. All right, slow down a little. Oh, there's one landing. Okay. He's over the trees. I heard him talking to somebody, but I kind of lost where they were.
39er Mike, runway 2, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 2, clear to Mike. All right, gear speed's good. Gear's coming down. Right over Hendricks. New construction coming up. All right, green light, and gear's down. A lot of stuff coming out here.
Yep.
Get a good view of it.
Oh yeah.
All the dealerships.
Yep. Definitely has a mega monopoly.
Yeah. All right, flap speed's good. Flap's coming down. Trim. See, I can really feel it. When I put the flaps in, I can feel the plane.
Copy, 110, clear.
06, back off ramp.
Now over the ramp, 110, back, thanks.
All right, full rich, full prop. Gears down. Firm down. All I gotta do is land. $84.9.
Good afternoon, Concord Tower, Centurion 610 Kilo Charlie.
Oh.
61 Kilo Charlie, Concord.
All right, power's out.
Hey, good morning, sir. I'm approximately 7 miles to the west, conducting an aerial survey that takes me in and out of the Class Bravo. My line is going to take me through the southwestern portion of your Class Delta, just looking for permission to collect.
0 Kilo Charlie, at or above 2,500, you can transition east and west as needed.
At or above 2,500, say above 0 Kilo Charlie, thank you.
All right, how'd that do?
Very well.
Oh, you're doing something over there. Well,
I was flying it in.
Okay.
I was trying to get get my depth perception and get my fall rate and get in there.
Concord Tower,
like picking a spot.
Short runway 2 ready for departure.
Warrior 690 Tango Concord, runway 2 clear for takeoff.
Or you were correcting me, I didn't know which.
Takeoff, runway 2 on course, 09 Tango.
Ooh, that bad boy, he's way down there.
Oh, is it now?
Yep. Brown one?
I'm not surprised.
Hendricks.
Probably some, well, there's another parking area down there now.
Okay.
They added another parking area below Hendricks, so that's probably what they did.
Concord is really big compared to Airy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is not a, I mean, Surry's kind of like a normal GA airport. A 4,000 or 5,000 feet runway. Oh, that you?
Yeah. I don't know what I did.
Scared the. Anyway, Concord is definitely a step above that.
Right. I would say maybe 2 steps.
I mean, it's kind of in between. Then you get up to like the big. Wait, then like around 10,000 feet runways is what would be like Charleston.
5965 Lima, you're coming inbound, correct?
And then Charlotte.
Yeah, you said the right downline for 2, so I'm trying to get on the downline.
Roger, you could have just come to the base. You make the left turn for the downwind there.
Thanks, coming left downwind, 65 Lima for runway 2.